People pulling out the crock pots to get
yeah.
ready for Thursday?
Probably.
I already have it on my agenda.
As long as you've already gone grocery shopping,
Right.
hopefully you can get that out of the way either today or tomorrow, because once we get to Thursday, you don't want to go outside.
You don't even want to step outside. Stay on the couch.
Absolutely not. Yeah, just stay inside if you can. Now, some of us can't.
No, we'll be here.
we're definitely going to be here. And you have to bundle up, that's for sure. And we're talking multiple layers. We've got a lot going on. We've got a big time cold front coming in as we get into Thursday morning. By Thursday morning, I'm really talking about Wednesday night, okay, into Thursday morning. And then Thursday and Friday are just going to be dangerously cold. And we're even talking about maybe a little bit of a light glaze initially as we get into Thursday morning, eventually switching over to all areas of very light snow, but that's still going to cause at least some slick roads. And then bursting pipes, power outages will also be a possibility during that time. It is just going to be the crazy cold, dangerous wind chills. We've got the wind chill watch in effect for really most of the state. We're talking about, again, Thursday into Friday, where it could feel anywhere between about 15 to as much as around 20 degrees below zero. So just kind of looking at what we're talking about here. Again, this is not today. This is not tomorrow. We're starting the clock at midnight tomorrow night. So by 8 o'clock in the morning, as you're, at least if you have to head out to work, it could be anywhere from, well, around Ada, 5 below, in Oklahoma City, around 15 below zero, but close to 20 degrees below zero in the northern half of the state. We're really not going to see a whole lot of improvement as we go throughout the day. We're going to keep it below zero. That's what it's going to feel like through Thursday afternoon and to Thursday night and all the way to Friday morning. Now, as we get into Friday afternoon, eventually, I think we're going to see a little bit of improvement, but it's still going to be very cold. Still not a day you really want to plan to be outside by any means. Today, though, I still don't want to be outside in this. We've got a lot of cloud cover. We do have some areas of fog since earlier this morning. Visibilities have come up quite a bit. Lots of sun across the southeast. This is our Norman regional camera up over Pike Pass Sky Chem Network. Very gray day. We're at 28 degrees. A north-northwest wind at 15. Still feels more like 17 degrees. Temperatures in the low 20s in the northwest, upper 20s to around 30 here in central Oklahoma, and some low 50s across the southeast where we do have lots of sun. A north wind anywhere between about 10 to 20 miles an hour, so it's making it feel more like the teens really across the western and central part of the state. And the eastern part, it just feels a little chilly, but not terribly cold. So just kind of looking at the big picture, we've had the cold front that already came through. Lots of wind chill advisories, wind chill watches, wind chill warnings. It's going to be cold for not just in Oklahoma, but really much of the United States as we get, again, into Thursday into Friday. So here it comes. Big trough bringing in down that very cold Arctic air. That's going to last a couple of days. The good news is by Christmas Eve, we're going to start to moderate things a little bit. Temperatures should be into the 20s and 30s, which is a big improvement. And then as we get into Christmas Day itself, it doesn't look terrible. It does look chilly, but it looks dry. Until we get into Monday night, it does look like there's going to be the slightest chance that we could possibly get maybe a few sprinkles. And then after that, we go back to near normal. And normal for us this time of year, we're talking upper 40s. So it's not going to be as terrible. So just a couple of days where it's going to be brutally cold. Today, we're going to struggle to get to about 37 degrees in Oklahoma City, the upper 20s and low 30s in the northwest, and should hold on to those low 50s in the southeast. Overnight tonight, temperatures drop down into the mid and upper 20s, so it's going to be cold, but not terrible. Overnight and into tomorrow morning, there is the slightest chance we could get some light drizzle in central and southern Oklahoma, maybe mixing in with a few snowflakes in the north and west. Tomorrow afternoon, still not terrible. We've got that south wind between about 15 to 30 miles an hour, so wind chills will be a factor, but air temperatures themselves generally in the low to mid 40s. Tomorrow night, as the front does move in, there's going to be a chance that we do get some areas of light freezing rain and sleet with snow in the panhandle, but eventually I don't think it's going to take very long for us to see that all transition over to areas of light snow. So with that being said, we could see some slick spots, so a light glaze across the northwestern and central part of the state. And then as we get into Thursday morning into midday, everything's going to switch over to snow in central and northwest Oklahoma. I think it's going to be cold enough throughout Thursday afternoon that eventually it's all going to be areas of light snow, and that's going to end from the northwest to the southeast. So how much are we looking at? Well, it's not going to be a whole lot. I think especially because of the wind, just going to blow it all around. We're probably talking about a trace to a half of an inch, and we're seeing that gray area. The farther north and east you go, we could see maybe a few inches, so a little bit more up there. So as far as roads are concerned, As we add in some of this snow, we could still see a few slick spots, and up in the northeast, we're talking about areas of drifting snow because of the wind and because we are expecting probably a few inches. So Thursday afternoon, I'm going with a high of about 10 degrees here in Oklahoma City, but keeping in mind that wind's going to be out of the north between about 30 to as much as around 55 miles an hour. So it's not going to feel like 10 degrees. It's going to feel a lot worse than that. By Friday evening, we've got this little weak wave that's going to move through, and I think it could squeeze out a few flurries. So from Thursday morning all the way through Christmas Day, it's going to be terribly cold. So just keep in mind, you need to drip your faucets, open the cabinet doors, just make sure the hoses are disconnected if you haven't already done that, and make sure you keep your pets indoors as much as possible. 90-day forecast showing that eventually, once we get to Christmas and then afterwards, things are looking a lot better. Lisa, back.